radar equipment powered up now, brother. You get those online, and I'll relay my signal from there. Get to the next fish.
Time to get the hell out of here. Percival, you should unplug and find somewhere we can talk. Privately.
On it. See you soon.
Got pretty frantic on the comms towards the end there. But it sounded like this was a success. Ah, this place for 'em. Now, my connection might have gotten a bit fuzzy there, but do I have it right that Faye Victus knew about this damn plant?
That's what it sounded like.
Guess the old Admiral must have told someone what he learned. Even he's not clever enough to pull off an attack like that from the great beyond. That's putting it lightly.
But it's clear someone knows about the plant and realized what ends it could be put towards. Captain, we need to get these samples back to the lab and verify we'll be able to handle cleaning up the leeches as well as the terramorphs. But in the interim, do you think you could look into what we uncovered? See if you can turn up any information on who might have committed...
If it were me, I'd start at the scene.
Thank you, Captain. Once you finish your investigation, we'll meet you outside the cabinet chambers. They're gonna want to hear this. Take care of yourself. No telling who might be involved.
Best of luck on your fact-finding mission. The samples are preserved.
looking for? I haven't been to Londinian in many years. Why? Is there some way I could be of assistance? Were you able to recover what you were looking for? Good news, then. So, what exactly are you doing here? Plenty still to be done in defeating the Terramorphs, no? Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attack. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau City, New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I, figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian, learning to synthesize it, use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing. Oh, my revenge was far from petty, Captain. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk, so I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once, and stealing away knowledge of the plant. These were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The Freestar Collective had spies everywhere. I was concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of Terramorphs. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the city, it was the only option that made easy to say now, but in that moment, I wasn't about to add another dangerous variant. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser. And cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You. It wasn't easy. But the beauty of being loathed is that people will do whatever they can not to deal with you. They wanted to pretend I didn't exist. And so I used their blind eye to my advantage. They believed they were luring in wanted criminals, but were in fact delivering precisely encoded slates, filled with instructions invisible to any but their recipient. Dropped off at just the right moments to fall into the proper hands. All without the slow work. Captain, please. You've benefited here as much as I... It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday. You're being honored only because I arranged the situations where it could happen. Be grateful. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the Cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the Cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlays and Orlays alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together. Hunting down criminals and other threats to the United Colonies. I expect they'll give me a bit more free range once this is all over. You would help me, like you did with Orlays. Track them down. Impossible, though. If the Cabinet learns I'm the one... Well, I do hope you'll keep the larger perspective in mind, Captain. We've done something great here. Let's not squander the opportunity to do more.
Perfect timing. We just got it. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Asylees are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the Cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Any leads on who might have committed the attacks? Do what you have to. We'll be here. So, did you...
Orlays? Reginald Orlays? He did this? I didn't think he was still alive. You're sure it was him? Oh, yeah. Both worked for UC Defense Research way back when. Had a mean eye for weapons tech. And a meaner temper. Wasn't exactly a surprise when he flipped, but finding out he's taken up mass murder in the years since.
That's some impressive work. So then give us the rundown. Where's Orlays now? Huh, I see. Wish we could have questioned him. But... well, there's nothing we can do at this point. Any idea why he might have done it? Or what he was doing with the plant? Another madman justifying butchery. Well, at least he won't be able to hurt anybody else now. Might be the best we could ask for, given the circumstances. So I guess there's nothing else to do but get this all in front of the cabinet. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on it.
Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math, and a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best. Asylees aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Asylees, we're at least dealing with known risks. So, any topic? And here we go.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were but according to Hadrian's report and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack is what I'm reading here.
My God.
An attack? Using Terramorphs?
You will all receive a full briefing. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reg...
That appears to be the case, ma'am. The captain tracked that information down just after our trip to Londinian.
Reginald Orlays? Wasn't there a report he'd been killed recently?
Body was found floating around Etheria. Report mentioned you were sent to try and bring him in, Captain.
Ah, yes. I was told about your mission and who ordered it. Did you two suspect at the time Orlays might have been involved in the attacks? Well, it appears you were ahead of the curve. This report contains definitive evidence Orlays triggered the attacks via this Lazarus plant.
Simply heroin.
Indeed. Though it would have been preferable for him to have finally faced the use, it seems both of you are to be commended for ensuring he was dealt with. You have our thanks. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other with the threads you've brought together here. the Lazarus. The three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant.
A sound decision, Madam President.
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping, but will ensure its growth is contained. That access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances. I'm glad you think so. So then, to our final topic. The cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But the project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps. The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the cabinet. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this... Please, ask.
Infinitesimally low.
But not zero.
The chance of a starship landing on you as you sit here isn't zero, yet you still attended. Personally, my fear isn't mutation, but Terramorphs developing a resistance. But that's something our group can continue to address if we decide to take this approach, as I believe we should.
This won't work without them.
Exactly right, ma'am. The Interstellar Affairs Office has already begun reaching out to worlds throughout the settled systems, informing them of the risks we're all facing, and that the UC has a plan to prevent what happened on New Atlantis. Thus far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. The spirit of mutual cooperation displayed between the UC and the Freestar Collective in managing the Terramorph data. We expect we'll hit some resistance, but our office has plenty of carrots.
The responsibilities will be spread across multiple branches. Research and day-to-day administration will be handled by all diplomatic concerns and coordination will fall to Chief, but most of the actual on-the-ground work.
I can feel this one. While intimidating creatures, certainly, Aseles are docile and less provoked. They're honestly closer to oversized mobile scanners than deadly predators. The concern is that, while all proposed methods will be long-term efforts, the Aseles are the slowest. Slow to breed, slow to deploy. We do everything we could to accelerate that process, including mustering some of our mothballed cloning technologies. But if we do elect to use this method, we'll be doing things at the pace of a megafauna, which is not an expedient one.
Very well. Then did you have a preference on the method we should deploy? I believe we have a responsibility to do something, yes. Heavens forbid, it falls to us to enact.
Glad to see someone's not afraid of a little applied genetics. The science division is in full agreement.
And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you, as befits such a group, the cabinet. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the three of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction, and I'm told the penthouse is... You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sanan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
And as a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you, Captain, will have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being... On behalf of the whole of the United, this meeting is adjourned.
I used to...
Enjoy the penthouse.
Informed us of your new status. Congratulations on making Class 1.
Well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain. No need to thank me. You brought this. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access. Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to you. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terror. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any of those missions called to you? Any chance to bag some bugs, right? Well, I can provide. Let me just check my logs. Okay, these coordinates should get you to your first target. That terramorph doesn't have a prayer. Then what can I do for you? Got a mission bringing some peace. That the sort of thing you're looking for? All right, let's get you the details. These missions are straightforward. Proceed to the location, kill the critter before it can do any more harm. Just be smart out there. Don't want you getting banged up too bad on your first hunt. Super et Ultra, Captain. Just getting those coordinates to you now. Report says ships at these coordinates fired on United Colonies craft. You're cleared to use lethal force if necessary. Notes mention a spacer presence in that sector.
It's a buyer's market right now. Good time to make a move. Well, well, if it isn't the United Colony's new... In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you... Great! You're in for a real treat. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located in... You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous... Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
This space is a memorial to those lost during me.
Saw your ship come in. Nice ride.
I'm afraid, due to recent legislative action, I'm no longer able to allocate ships. I can, however, deal in general goods. Welcome to UC Distribution. Now, before you say a word, I am required to inform you that I have been told it'll be up and running in 2 weeks, but also, if you're here about a corporate account, I've been assured that delivery... I hope we have what you need. Back to it then.
I know your type. The freewheeling space ace. Must be nice.
not feeling that bad.
We have an appointment. We're seeing the doctor. That's it.
There are a few injuries that can't be addressed here. If you walk in, you will almost assuredly walk out.
Well, judging by the looks of you, you're in... All right, what can I do? Well, you certainly do need a doctor, don't... We'll get you feel good as new. How can I help?
Oh my, let's get these wounds closed up. And
I can't say you won't. There you are. Right is great. Well, you've certainly come to... So, you're an empath. Very few people have this gift, or curse, depending on how you look at it. There have been some clinical trials of a regimen that can suppress this talent permanently. It's perfectly safe, assuming. Take all the time you need.
the procedure is no risk.
Captain, can I help you?
executioner. So the cabinet knows the truth about Orlais. Once we'd cracked synthesizing the Lazarus plant's pollen, research that took years in and of itself, the attacks were exceedingly simple. Orlais' ship would land on our target, bearing a few heat leeches. Nothing that would rate. Then Lazarus pollen was pumped out of the ship during liftoff from the plant. Shortly thereafter, an attack. A strike perpetrated in mere moments, with no one being the wiser. Well, thanks to our combined efforts, the Sanan name has more clout with the cabinet than it has in years. I hope to build on that. I have a long list of names civilized society would be better without. I just need someone to help me remove them from the picture. Should we begin the hunt? Or did you have questions? Just what I was hoping to hear. There's a slate waiting for you in the transfer system. Those are the details for our first, person of interest. Find them, eliminate them, and make the galaxy a better place for it. Though I would expect some resistance when trying to approach the target. Deal with any you encounter.